What's up, beautiful people? Shell
and Aaron
here over at A Radical Relationship, and we are back with another video. Y'all clearly love Aaron in the videos because the views be up on the Shell and Aaron videos, and so we are supplying based on the demand. So in today's video, we want to just spend a little bit of time just reflecting on our first year of marriage. If you are caught up on the videos, you saw that we recently celebrated in Miami and then on a cruise. At this point, don't know if you've seen the cruise video or not, depending on when I get that done, but the Miami video for sure. So with that, just wanted to take some time to reflect and just talk about lessons learned and experiences and just all the things. So I know that there's
waiting for the question.
Well, I was just gonna say, I know that there's a lot of different ways that we could go with that, but we can just kind of leave it open to like, actually, let's start here. Highlights from our first year of marriage. And we have not talked through this, so we'll see what ends up coming out. Highlights from our first year of marriage for you.
Well, here, let's start here. So, the beginning of the year, me and Shell made a prayer board, and then we made a prayer answer board. And I was telling her before the year ends, we need to like write it all down, because sometimes like God has done so much that it can be easy to forget, you know, all the things that He's done for us. So just to like reflect and continue to be grateful for all that He has done. We kind of keep that. We have a board that we put all our stuff up on, and man, so much has happened this year. Like, it's crazy. You know, totaled my car before we got married. Started a new business. Got a new truck. What else? Became a certified minister. We got our nonprofit status. We just recently started a new endeavor. We manage a transitional housing facility, and man, God has been so gracious in that area, because I really He's been bringing all the men to me. So that's been awesome. Like, He's been providing, and I've been able to capitalize on it. We got 4 guys in the house right now, and it's really turning into something. What?
No, I'm just like,
okay, well,
but you're right. Keep going.
Anyways,
we got a little inside little jokey joke going on between us right now.
But anyways, it's been cool, because the whole reason we want to do that is so that we can help people, you know, in need, and that's exactly what we've been doing. It has been a little stressful because we're pouring out of our own pockets right now. What?
Mm-mm.
Well, it's a ministry, you know. Anybody wants to donate to the nonprofit, they can. It would be much appreciated.
We're talking about highlights.
Okay, yeah. Also, like,
marriage.
I thought we were talking about all the. Okay,
highlights of marriage.
Sorry, guys, I get sidetracked. Well, I was going to tell them about the discipleship stuff that's been going on too.
Maybe I should be more specific. Between you and I.
I got you. Okay. Between me and Shell. This has been the greatest year of my life, but it's been a lot of sharpening. Lots of sharpening, I think, on both ends. Like, me and Shell, she's always the one asking questions, so I was proud of myself. I was like, let's try an exercise. Like, I'll say something that I can learn from you, and then you say something you can learn from me. And it's, man, a lot of things, like, I see myself rubbing off on Shell, not always so good. And a lot of ways that she rubs off on me. Like, I wash my hands, you know, a whole lot more now, because she's always nagging on me about it. And my buddy actually said something about it today, because we got some sushi and we were eating it with our fingers. And I was like, man, I'm so glad you're not a germaphobe. He's like,
not you getting sushi without me.
He's like, well, I can tell you've been washing your hands a whole lot more lately, so it's okay. And I was like, yeah, that's thanks to Shell. You know, she helps me see different sides of things. I'm a little more hot-headed, and so like it's cool that I'm really passionate about things, so I can bring it to her, and she can help me think logically through it. I can also see, you know, my patience, discipline, you know, doing the things that I don't always want to do, but I do them because I want to serve Shell well, and I see all the ways that she makes my life easier. So it was a big wake-up call for me the other day. I was like, man, what can I do to make her life easier? So just that constant awareness of like how I can serve her and what I can do to make our marriage better in that aspect. What do you think?
I thought you'd never ask. For me, I think we have a lot of fun. Just that is definitely one of the sides that Aaron brings out in me, and just like being more fun, being more silly, being more easygoing. So we legit just like have a good time, just the two of us here in the house, being silly, whatever the case may be, finding a new Netflix show or movie to watch,
I tell y'all,
or not.
We are weird. We're weird.
But we just like have a good time being playful around the house and things like that. So that's definitely been a highlight. And then just what it's looking like for us to learn how to work together on making different decisions for ourselves. That's been cool. Specifically, like this year, we navigated transitions in church homes, only to end up back where we started. But throughout the whole process, we just really had to work together and do a lot of communication, figuring out what it is that we value in church communities and what's going to be best for both of us. So I feel like I definitely saw us be strengthened just through that entire process. So that was really cool. Also, I think just like highlight, low light. The line is kind of blurred on this one. Oh, there's some low lights. I don't know why you acted like
Nothing's a little.
I mean, even the low lights.
He wasn't saying it 2 days ago.
I said the other day, I said, you know what? Even though when we be going ham at each other, like I appreciate it because we work through it, and then it brings things to light that we never would have really otherwise.
I said highlight, low light, line,
Okay.
line gets kind of blurred. But I think that, I guess more so specifically for Aaron, over this year, he's just like really coming into himself more. And that's presented a lot of challenges for us in different ways. The challenges from the perspective of like me learning to accept those things about him that rubbed me the wrong way. But I don't think we should say that on camera. The things that we always arguing about that I'm complaining about. But I think with that, it's just really strengthening our bond just as we learn to communicate through those things, and not just communicate, but what effective communication looks like through those things, and just learning more about each other's tendencies in communication. So that's why I say like highlight, low light. Like it's the challenges that bring it about, but through it, we're definitely learning each other way better and learning how to more effectively communicate through those things.
Yeah, that's definitely been a strong suit. Learning how to because when I get angry and upset, I resort to name calling and cussing, and Michelle's completely different in that manner. But now being able to process through things, I see when I get angry, all right, I'm just gonna leave the situation, come back when things are cooled down. But being able to communicate in a way where it's not like I'm yelling and she's yelling and everybody's yelling, but we're able to speak, talk through things logically and work through things, because you got to work through them. You can't just talk about them. You got to work through them, and set up goals and boundaries and kind of make things that can help us not get to that point again.
Yeah, and even for me, when I think about communicating effectively, I'm not even thinking about how things can get on the extreme. I'm even talking about just even when you think you're communicating, but not effectively, because it's not you're saying words.
When I left the other day, and I think I told Shell I was I wanted to go buy somewhere or something, and we were gonna make a video, she expected me to be back, and she was like, "Where have you been? You've been gone all this time. I went to the grocery store without you." And I was like, "Oh, I thought I told you." And she was like, no, you said you wanted to go. You didn't say you were going.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, just stuff that it might look like you'd be doing it on purpose, but it's not.
Yeah. And just learning how to get through to each other. Like the other day when we had an argument, he left me alone. And that's been like, he been trying to learn that the whole first year of marriage is to leave me alone.
I went and got sushi. I said, babe, tell me what you want for dinner. I bought her dinner. I went upstairs and I watched a movie by myself.
Praise the Lord, saints.
Yep. That was very hard for me because I like to confront things. Like when I'm feeling a type of way, I'm very passionate, very emotional. I'm a lot more emotional than Shell's. I'm the emotional one. And I get worked up and I just want to, and I learned that is not a good communication. Going at it in the heat of the moment never produces good results.
Yeah. I would also say navigating each other's friends. That's been huge for us in this first year of marriage. For Aaron, I think, well, I'll say what I think and then you can say what you think. For Aaron and my friends, I think it's been one, figuring out like boundaries in those relationships in terms of like how much they're in our space. That was one of the first things we navigated. And just like boundaries in terms of like time, because I have a core group of women that I get with every Thursday and we'd be out late, and that was a problem to begin with, but we just had to learn to communicate through those things. And then also I'm trying to think about what else with friends, like
when you told me you didn't want any of my friends to be at the house anymore because they were over for my birthday. All my friends were over for like a week straight, and I said, oh yeah, nobody will come by today. And then I told my friend it was okay for him to come by. I knew it was the wrong thing to do, but he was dropping something off, and I got in trouble. But I understand that because she wants to have her own space sometimes. I want to have my own space. So our house was kind of like the space for my friends, and I was kind of like, I feel like in a way I was kind of taking over because we had the TV room and the kitchen, and that was like for me and my friends. So learn to balance that and start to go see my friends at their place instead of having them over as much, I think.
Yeah.
But it was funny because I started off the year with really no friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very small circle of like nobody, and gradually the Lord has been bringing me like some great men who are amazing friends to me, and I guess I got a little carried away, hanging out with them a lot.
Well, it's different too because his friends are basically single.
Yeah.
So
and I'm
that's
learning to
different.
navigate that.
Yeah, that's a different dynamic as well.
I told Corey the other day, I was like, man, I was like, I'm married, I have to like balance my time a little differently than y'all do.
Yeah, and it's different too because when you're married but without kids, it can still feel like you have that same level of freedom because in so many ways you do. And I would say for the most part, Aaron and I are both pretty easygoing with each other when it comes to things like that. Like even when it came to like the friends at the house situation, I had said, hey, it's cool. I will communicate when I need the fresh break. So when I communicated that I needed the break, it really wasn't even that like he invited his friend to come by. It was that he said it like it was going to be this quick drop in and drop something off and leave, but it ended up turning into them like hanging out. And I was just like, that ain't what you said. If you had said what it really was, I would have said no. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of felt like you knew what you was doing. Or he took advantage of my yes. That's how I felt. So yeah.
Shut up and get real scary.
Aaron say that, but trust me, y'all. The evidence would say, boo boo, boo boo, boo boo.
What?
You the one that gets scary.
Nah.
So navigating friendships. I'm trying to think what else we've talked about. We did a video on navigating jobs.
I don't know about your friends, but my friends, since they are single, it's cool because they get super encouraged. Like when they come over and they see how me and Shell operate, and it's kind of like helping them to navigate to see like what they can look for in a marriage, or in a woman that they want to date. So that's been really cool.
Yeah. I think my brain is kind of turning the corner now as I think about like things that we're still learning to navigate. One of those things I think is just like we're probably just now coming into it. That's not what I was gonna say.
No, we still, but I mean, we still are kind of. It's a thing that people don't like to talk about. I think.
I mean, we've made a video about that.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing that's been good. Is communicating wise. I guess a lot of people don't like to communicate like as much about sex because they get embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, I was gonna say ministry. Like Aaron kind of came into a radical relationship having been formed already, and then us adding a men's ministry because we got married. And so I think the entire year we've been trying to navigate those expectations of like what that looks like for him realistically versus what it is I expect. And so I was saying I feel like we're just now coming into what that looks like now that we have the transitional housing recovery piece that truly is his wheelhouse, because I think I would get frustrated a lot feeling like he wasn't helping enough on that front, when in reality it was just kind of like, I mean, what you want me to be doing? you know,
you thought I wasn't gonna be. You was like afraid I wasn't gonna be as active, but I've been running that job.
No, I'm talking about before then, like before the transitional house was ever a thing and it was just radical as it exists.
Yeah, you were worried
it was,
about it though.
It was just like, me wanting you to do more, but us not really knowing where that fit in, because you don't really operate in the online space like I do.
Yeah.
And you were still building community here locally, even though you did the small groups and things. So that was just kind of like he don't do video editing, he don't do content creation, he don't like being online like that.
But
so
right now, I'm good with local. God has been building.
That's what I'm saying.
A men group right now that I've been discipling, and it's cool because we're discipling each other. Like, we're finding out that we all have different skills, we all have different things that we're good at, and things that we can do together, but things that we can also teach one another. Like fishing, we've been picking up fishing and just doing lawn care work and stuff, or repairing things at the house. What else? Going camping, hunting, stuff like that. That we've been able to just kind of really bond over. But also, like, it's so cool because that's literally like how God set it up. For us to be able to, like, there's certain. I was telling my buddy the other day, like, man, instead of like seeking all these different things, trying to find all these different ways to make money, like, what skills has God given you? Like, what are the skills that you have? What are you good at? Because he placed, we all have different skills and talents that God's placed inside of us. And I think it's just about tapping in and figuring out what those things are. Because those are the things we're meant to capitalize on so that we can, then pass on to other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you say you are looking forward to in year 2?
Making babies. I got